Hey, it's Lee here with Simplify Adulting, and today we are going to talk about one of the most important skills you need to develop to go from money chaos to being in control of your money. And that is moving from a reactive money management mode and mindset to a proactive money management mode and mindset. And what do I mean by that? Reactive means that you get surprised. You look and you're like, God, I don't even remember spending that. Oh, I forgot I signed up for that subscription. Oh my gosh, I overdrafted. That's reactive. You're already, all the actions have already taken place. And then you're just left trying to juggle the mess that it's gotten you into. Versus a proactive mindset takes you into saying, I'm going to actively think about what I'm doing with my money. I'm going to plan it, and I'm not going to be surprised by things that I'm doing that I call in the zombie zone, where you don't remember clicking, you don't remember buying. It's all just a blur. And believe me, this is important because it is super easy now to lose track of what we spend. Because, first of all, we have a point of sale option, meaning a button to click to buy put in front of us anytime we're on our phone, any social media platform. I mean, on your computer. And guess what? It's constant. This ability, the apps on our phone are just all one push to spend money. So being aware and being proactive is super important. And I use that word aware because that's what we're trying to do is we're trying to increase our awareness of what we're doing with our money. And get this is not rocket science. This is really about taking habits that are reactive habits and tweaking them and building new proactive habits. And the way we start that out is that we get really specific about how we're going to look at what we're doing with our money. And that really requires that we start to look at our spend and what we're doing with our money twice a day. That means we're going to start out our day looking at our balance, taking a look at it and saying, okay, I got what I got in my bank account, and then anticipating proactively what you think you're going to spend that day, if anything. And you also have to proactively think about, do I have one of those expenses coming out like my rent or my utility, right? Or my Netflix subscription. So you have to really be proactive and say, what's my money situation right now? And then at the end of the day, you're going to look at it and you're going to say, oh my gosh, yep, my balance is kind of where I thought it was going to be. Or guess what? Something surprised me and there's a subscription that I didn't remember. Or gosh, I don't even remember buying that snack at whatever place, right? This is how you start to get aware is that you in reality force reality on yourself because it's super easy to kind of put our head in the sand on this stuff. And so this daily checking is really about building this habit of awareness around your money. Now, if you're using credit cards, which I hope you're not, but if you are, they have to be pulled into this process. So you have to take those apps and look at what transactions are coming through on your credit card because there are two options in life. We can either pay now or we pay later. And so if you are using credit cards, you have to be as conscious and aware of what you're spending on that, looking at your balance, understanding that eventually that spend is hitting that checking account. You have to be able to pay for the credit card purchase. So if you have that credit card going, and we'll talk more about credit cards in another video, you need to pull them into this process. And how long do you do this for? I say as long as it works for you, but at a minimum, you should do it for 30 days. You try this for 30 days and you build that habit and you start to hopefully over those 30 days gain more confidence and also become a lot more aware of what's happening with your spend. At 30 days, I would have an honest assessment and really say each day, how often was I surprised by my spend? How often did I not really have any idea what my balance was going to be? And if you're really surprised or kind of finding that you just still aren't tuned into it, then stick with this process until you're really like, wow, I wasn't surprised at all. I really have a good sense. And this is where you just have to be honest and real with yourself. There's no right or wrong answer here. It's about what works for you and what is making you successful and becoming more aware of what you're doing with your money. And if you get to that confidence point, you're like, you know what? I want to try to do this, loosen the reins a little bit, and that's fine. Then you go down to one time a day. And you can pick the evening or the morning, whatever works best for you, middle of the day. And you do that same process where you take that self assessment like, oh, here's where I thought my budget was going to, or my balance was going to be. And here's where it's at. I thought I was going to spend this. This is what happened. And you do that assessment and see if you, after 30 days, have that sense of confidence. And again, how surprised were you and how consistently were you really aware? Then you can even go to a next level, and that would be twice a week. And I like this structure for an ongoing maintenance mode. I would never really go less than this. And this is, I call it having your Money Monday and your Financial Friday. And this is your twice a week check in where you can really make sure that you are still able to be aware and maintain that awareness with less check ins through the week. And if this doesn't work for you, you hop back to the previous phase because, again, it's about what works for you, keeps your balance in the black, right? In a positive, and it reduces your stress. That's what this is about. There's no magic time here, but I really do recommend keeping this cadence of twice a week is just a great adulting practice. And let's talk about how you build some of these habits because there's a really great thing called habit stacking from a book called Atomic Habits. And the whole idea is that you take something that you're already doing that is a well-formed habit, and when you want to introduce a new habit, you stick that new habit, either you tag it onto a good an existing habit, you put it before, put it after, or ideally you sandwich it. So in the morning, if you have a fairly consistent schedule of, hey, I eat my breakfast and then I brush my teeth. What you may want to do is say, hey, in between those two events, I'm going to take that 5-10 minutes and look at my spend, look at my balance of my bank account. I'm going to do that time. And then same thing in the evening. Maybe you do a workout and then you shower. Well, maybe before you shower, you're going to sneak in that financial review. And that's a whole idea of habit stacking. And it just means leverage something we've already got in place to add something new in. And that is a great way to start to go from that reactive habits to building our proactive habits. Now, another thing that is going to pop up because it always does with money is that we get a lot of negative self chatter going. And it may happen more sometimes than other times. We can do self judgment, we can do shame and guilt and all those things. It's just natural. It's part of dealing with money stuff, especially if it's stressful. And what I really encourage you to do is whenever those types of thoughts and feelings pop up, please do not let them be an obstacle to doing the work. Just simply try placing your feet flat on the ground. I call it grounding your feet and really feel the earth beneath your feet. And then while you're doing that, take 3 deep cleansing breaths. And typically, because our emotions are so fleeting, that by the time you focus on those feet, take 3 deep breaths, those sensations will have passed and you can continue to build your proactive habits. So there you go. Start out with twice a day. Do that for a minimum of 30 days. Build that awareness. And when you can self assess that, hey, yeah, I'm kind of feeling this, you can try moving to 1 a day. Again, try it for 30 more days. And as that awareness grows and your confidence grows, you can get into that maintenance stage of twice a week and set up your Money Mondays and your Financial Fridays. So there you go. This is how you go from money chaos to money in control. You have to go from reactive money management to proactive money management. If you like this video, please hit subscribe. You can hit that bell and get notified when we put new videos up. And here's the most important thing. If you are overwhelmed by adulting, we can change that.